Just a great look at the metropolis. That is Houston, Texas. We've got a full house of rabid Rocket fans packed into the arena here in Houston, Texas. Both teams hope to get one over their in-state rival as the Spurs come into Houston. You take a look at the Spurs. Thursday's loss was a disappointment.
Well, you hate to say it, but they showed a lack of heart at the defensive end in losing that game. Just no effort.
You know, I know the fans don't want to hear it, but you're exactly right. There was no energy, no assertiveness, no aggressiveness. The defense was just lifeless. It's not a night that they're going to look back on fondly.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the floor for San Antonio. In the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. Down low, it's Duncan and Splitter. And it's Leonard in at the small forward. Rejected by Jones, and he's able to get it back. And so it's Houston with it. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
They looked very stable, pretty much from the get-go, guys. A solid output, solid effort. And, you know, sometimes you'll see some inconsistencies come up in a road game, but they were pretty solid there.
I was very impressed with the balance they displayed, guys. Different people carrying the load, scoring, making assists, unselfish play. Everything was working for them to get that victory. And that's a nice finish for the big fella there. I mean, he used his length very well under the basket.
There may be more athletic players around the league, but, Steve, not many bigger ones.
And I'll tell you what, Kevin, I'd like to see him even take advantage of that size more often on the offensive end and be more aggressive.
To the wing on the left. Parker outside. Out left to the wing. The drive by Duncan. Fades away. And that one's good. And here in the first, closing in on 2 minutes play. Rockets have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for to start off this game. Harden the pass to Mr. Moves. He dishes it to Ariza. Houston moving it around. 6 to shoot. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession.
Where was he going with that pass? I mean, that's just an awful turnover.
The Spurs have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Parker kicks to Duncan. The shot from the low post is good. Duncan's got his second bucket of the night. On defense, San Antonio. They trail by 1. Here's Mr. Moves. Covered by Parker. And Harden wide open. He shoots. That 3 off the mark. Here's San Antonio. Guys, we've seen some excellent offensive output.
Yes, sir, fellas. They've had it going on big time.
Big time is right, Clark. A lot of momentum here offensively. And the layup just gift-wrapped right there. I mean, he had a clear path to the basket.
And Doris Burke caught up with Coach Greg Popovich. Doris?
He said their scouting report is really all about how to handle Dwight Howard. Obviously a tremendously impactful player at both ends of the court. Coach said, offensively, we always need to know where he is. Defensively, it's always about doing your work early, trying to hold your ground and deny him prime position inside. Sounds like a good plan, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. And the wide open shot from Ginobili. No good from outside.
Nobody near him. He'll normally make that one.
Here's Mr. Moves from beyond the arc and then some. Mr. Moves got a pair of threes now in the first quarter for the Rockets. And the foul called on Mr. Moves. That's his first foul. And some changes here for the Spurs. Boris Diaz checked in for Duncan. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili. And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. And that one's good.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
Oh, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it.
Why don't we take this chance now to show you the most active wing defenders in the league. These are this season's steals leaders at small forward. The fourth spot held by Kawhi Leonard.
You know, if you're an opposing small forward, this could also be called a list of the league's most annoying players because they will be in your jersey all night when you're up against them.
And they're not just good on the ball defenders. They'll torment the players they're not guarding. A lot of those steals are the result of passes he gets his hands on away from the ball.
San Antonio with the ball. They're on a 13-5 run here. Double team on Parker. Inside. And it's slammed in by Splitter. An indication there of why the scoreboard looks like it does. Very passive defense.
But the finish was anything but passive.
No, he hammered that down, Clark. Superb above the rim action.
They double him with Green. Mr. Moves passes to Harden. That one wide left.
An easy look there, but, you know, he misses those once in a while.
Leonard kicks to Green. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. It's trailed by 5. Here's Howard. It's hauled in by Diaw.
Boy, he really bungled that finish.
Green dishes to Diaw. Leonard with no one around. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. Houston's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. Here's Mr. Moves, covered by Parker. Knocks it loose. It's stolen by Green. There's 49 seconds left here in the first quarter. Here's Mr. Moves. Boy, he was something else against San Antonio. Leonard with the steal. And now running up the court. Leonard pushing it up. Passes it to Green. Dishes it to Splitter. That's tipped.
Man, excellent interior defense there. Good rotations.
No doubt about it, Steve. He's a real presence inside. Takes up a lot of space.
Parker kicks to Leonard. The dish now to Green. Parker sets the screen for Green. Back to Leonard from deep. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Here's Mr. Moves. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow. Mr. Moves got 13.
Tell you what, he's come into this game with the long-range stroke from the three-point line looking really solid.
1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. It's San Antonio. They're up by 2. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. The floor. The Spurs also changing it up. Splitter is checked in for Carter. Leonard comes in for Green. And Tony Parker subbed in for Patty Mills. Terrence Jones is down low with Howard. Harden and Ariza out on the perimeter. And it's Mr. Moves in at the 1. So that's who's on the floor for the Rockets. Anderson kicks to Parker. Clock at 6. That's good. 9 points in the game so far.
You know, he operates so well close to the bucket. There's nothing he likes more than seeing an opening inside.
Pass to Howard. And some nice passing there by Houston. And it's blocked. And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin, Mr. Moves in that last game against the Spurs got down to business. He finished with 28 points and played some lockdown defense as well, causing havoc on both ends of the floor. He had a great game in all facets, and his coach called it a complete game of basketball. High praise to be sure, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you. It really was a stunning performance, Clark. He was at his absolute best in this game.
Yeah, and the only thing about having a game like that, Kevin, is that it's almost impossible to duplicate it here tonight.
Well, but nobody's expecting that, Clark, and they don't need him to do that. If he's even half as good as he was that night, it should be enough.
You know, they've changed their game here in the second, getting a little bit more physical, playing with some toughness now.
And, you know, this lead is going to grow if they can continue to get to the free throw line.
San Antonio making a switch here. Green's checked in. Parker with it. Now guarded by Mr. Moves. That's good. And that's 11 points for Parker.
That finish brings me back to the old days, the silky smooth finger roll.
Howard with a screen on Parker. Here's Mr. Moves. Rebound San Antonio. Splitter's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Parker outside. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup.
And the free throw is good. Now leading by 1. 11 seconds left here in the second. Jones with the screen on Parker. Lets the three fly. Cannot hit.
Rugged play under the boards. It's not a place for the weak of heart. You've got to go in there physically and aggressively.
And a tight game here as we end the first half. Spurs lead.
Okay, guys,